So a little bit about myself. I returned to education as a mature student. I studied a number of modules with the Open University myself, studying modules along the Bachelor of Arts psychology degree pathway. I then went on to study for a Bachelor of Business Honours degree in Recreation and Sports Management at the South East Technological University here in Ireland. I then progressed from there and continued my studies and studied for a master's degree by research with my major component being sports psychology. My career got started many years ago. I've always had an interest in sport. I played sport all my life. Soccer growing up was my number one sport at the time. So I've always had an interest in sport, always been interested in how the body works, why we do things the way we do them, why we choose to do things. So I've always kind of had that interest in between sport and psychology. So when I left school, I did take a gap year to kind of pursue my interest in the sport and fitness industry, getting kind of work experience. That gap year kind of lasted more than 1 year, hence why I returned to education a number of years later as a mature student. When I was studying firstly with the Open University and then at the South East Technological University, I really began then to delve into the world of academics. I found reading enjoyable. I wanted to learn more. I was learning things in the lectures that perhaps I might have thought about before, but not really understood kind of the concepts and where things came from. So for me, I'm combining two passions: my passion for sport and fitness, and also my passion for education. So from there, my career really got started upon completion of my degree in Recreation and Sports Management, and that's where I kind of almost fell into teaching. I've always wanted to teach, but it kind of happened accidentally. And I started teaching adults in further education, a number of sport and fitness modules, so sport, fitness and health, sports injuries, a little bit of sports psychology, a little bit of exercise instruction, and this is when I found my passion. This is when I knew this is what I wanted to do as my career. So I was teaching and still studying at the same time, progressing my studies, and I was actually sitting on the sofa one day and just thinking about what could be my next step. What can I do next? And I was starting to think about what's available in my local town. And I soon came to the realization that there's actually at the time, there wasn't much in the town sport and fitness related from a business perspective. There was only one leisure centre in the town, public leisure centre, and there was only one private swimming pool. So I decided I would start my own strength and conditioning centre, where I would focus on team training, individual training, personal training, group training, both in public and private settings. So I opened my fitness centre, specialising in strength and conditioning, and straight away it was a success. There was the gap in the market. I saw the opportunity. I took a risk and it paid off. The gym went on from strength to strength. We were then working with, started off with local teams, Then we ended up with international teams, working with some international swimmers on one-to-one basis, and also as teamwork with them, covering their and providing their strength and conditioning programs to coincide with their pool sessions. So we were providing the land work while they had an external coach then to do their pool work. So for me, the highlight of my career so far is I get to work with people who want to learn, who have an interest in sport and fitness, who I deal with the public. So I have every day is different. You never know who is going to come through the door, and the more you get to know the clients, the more banter you can have, and it really has developed into a community. So even though it started off as a business, it now almost feels like part of my family, an extended family. So the clients come to me for help and for advice, and we share thoughts, we share opinions, and the most rewarding part then is seeing somebody overcome an injury, getting back into full training, and seeing the teams as well succeed. So for me, that's my driving, my passion. That's what drives me. I love to see people succeed. I want to help people to achieve those goals, and even if I'm only playing a small role along that ladder of success, for me that is that's everything. What I did find within my job was that while I had a strength and conditioning facility, and we had all walks of life coming into the gym. We actually had mother and toddler sessions, all the way up to my eldest personal training client was in her mid-80s. An amazing lady, absolutely amazing. She still keeps me entertained today. Lovely lady. But what I found was that even though I had this facility and people were coming in, the majority of the people coming into the gym were injured. They had some form of injury, whether it's mostly minor, muscular, some recovering from say injuries, trying to get back into work, but there was a lot of injuries. So I undertook a postgraduate certificate in clinical exercise prescription, so that I could better inform myself to help other people overcome these injuries, and to make sure that I was providing them with safe exercise instruction and prescriptions. Alongside this then, I have been teaching the modules from levels 1 to level 3, and as much as I get enjoyment out of working with people face to face, teaching students with the Open University via the online platforms using Adobe Connect and our tutor group forums, I love to see students enjoy their studies. I like to see students who are motivated to do well, who have an interest in the subject, who want to learn, and who want to do something for themselves. And as I said earlier, if I can help in any small way, for me that's everything. So as a tutor with the Open University, I really like to see my students do well, and if there's anything I can do to help the students achieve their goals, then I will do my utmost to make sure, or to help that happen. Tips then for anybody who's wanting to pursue a similar career. My biggest tip is go for it. If you know what drives you, if you know what you would like to spend the rest of your life doing, use that as your starting point. Identify your ideal career and work backwards from there. So if you're still in school and you're kind of trying to figure out what your next step is, or if you've left school and you're not quite sure what to do with your life from this point on, career-wise, or if you're looking for a change of career, identify the career you want to do, then do a little bit of research just to find out what it takes to be qualified in that career, or what it takes to actually to get that particular job, and then work backwards. So if your particular career is in, say, PE teaching, then you'll be able to do your research and identify what specific qualifications you will need to undertake that career. So identify what you need early, and then you can start on that ladder to reaching your goals. So you have your short-term goals of identifying what qualifications you need, and then making those steps to then enable you to, down the line, reach that goal. Don't give up. It's always worth pursuing your dream. Even if you find out down the line that maybe it's not quite for you, you've given it a go. So don't give up on your dreams. Keep trying, and you only live once, so find something you enjoy and follow it. Follow your heart. So that's it from me. Thank you for listening, and take care.